going to get a start this time. Cars just picking up pace then for this rolling start. We've already had a couple of minutes of the 40. Race then about to get underway. The red lights will be on the gantry. You can see that they're already on. There we go, and they go out now, and the race gets underway for this 37.5 minutes that we have remaining. Fantastic sound made as they blast down to Abbey for the first time. It was Ricky Can in the Aston Martin that's got the lead then as they turned into Abbey. Still cars making their way out of Club Corner. It's the TVR in second. Look, the Austin Healey thing of Plant is there in
one of the clone Healeys.
Yes.
Yeah, the other being the Sebring of Martin Reynolds, number 27.
Absolutely. So, but he's up to third, James Plant, as they headed through Village for the first time.
It must have some grunt in that Aston Martin, because it must be considerably heavier than the TVR that sat on pole. And Ricky Can, very experienced hand, and still they come through. Absolutely amazing. There's the black Martin Reynolds Sebring, another Healey clone in the middle there. Other TVRs and Porsches. There's the Mustang S car in there too.
Yeah, try and pick up who the best of the Porsches. It was Adam Southgate, number 45, as they went over the line. He got a bit of a gap back to James Huff. You mentioned Adam Southgate's yet to have a win in the Porsches this year. But we're watching there the 27 car, which is the Martin Reynolds car that Marcus mentioned. Going through, here's some of the Porsches, including the 25 car, which is being started actually by Trevor Lewis rather than Matt Carl-Henny, who is probably the driver that we've got on our screen for that one. Turning their way through Abbey for the second time. There's the 911 car, which is I think the Stephen Archer and Angus Archer Porsche, being started by Stephen Archer on this occasion. That was Southgate's Porsche going through shot there, and he does lead the... No, he doesn't. He's second now. He's behind James Coleman in the Porsche part of the race.
And here comes Plant into the lead down the hangar straight. 39 chasing. That's the Phil James and Cheng Lim Cobra.
Yeah, the Moyes 571 Tuscan has dropped back down to fourth position, hasn't it? Moyes sharing with Matthew Ellis. He'll have the car in the second part of the race.
Comes James Plant then, leading into Club for the second time. Ricky Can in behind.
Yep, over the line to complete 3 laps of the race. The lead 1.01 seconds. Plant doing a 1:15.82. Phil James in third place, a 1:16.76. So gaining on Ricky Can by about a third of a second on that lap. And James Coleman up to fourth position now in the first of the Porsches, number 47. He is out there in, let's say, fourth place overall now. James Coleman, who won last time out at Snetterton. Yeah, it's shown in our programs as 1:47, but it's showing on our timing screens as 47, which momentarily confused me.
Plant very quick in a straight line in that number 23 car, the Healey clone, with the big V8 under the bonnet. There's the Cobra, and both Phil James and Cheng Lim, the Singapore-born driver from Essex, are very rapid in these cars. They've won numerous races at Spa over the years, the big historic Spa 6 Hours event, September's and October's past.
Lap 4 being completed then, and Plant's on another best lap of the race, a 1:15.45. To extend his lead by another 0.7 of a second over Ricky Can in second place. Phil James taking a couple of tenths out of Ricky Can as he pursues him for second position, and James Coleman still there in third, but Adam Southgate was a little bit quicker that time through.
Peter Holford in 82, the Canadian from nearby Daventry, loves his big banger Americana. Competes in various different examples. There's the big Ford Galaxy 187 which is Adrian Block, 7.3 litre Galaxy.
Not far away.
In the Wilmot colours.
Indeed, not far away from being lapped by the race, because there's James Plant herring down towards the Vale after him, lapping several seconds a lap faster. It's a good scrap between a couple of the Porsche 924s going on down the order, try and home in on who's involved with that in a second. There is the 27 car of Martin Rhodes. He's now got the 80 car behind him of Matthew Smith. You can see, oh, and there's the 187 car that's spun around. We also had a spin for 69. That's one of the Porsches as well. That's Richard Jones in his 94 who's got back on. But Adrian Block, that's a big old car to have a spin around. It'll take up the width of the track if it's broadside. There's Ricky Can, briefly saw him, and he's got Phil James right behind him now. It was 1.7 seconds at the start of the lap, but that gap seems to have come down, possibly amid that yellow flag situation down towards Village. So we've got Phil James in the 39 car now, right with the Aston Martin. .30 minutes of the race or so left to go, and let's have a look. There's one of the Ascars heading down the hill towards us. That's the number 9 car of Andrew Knight, a former MR2 racer, and he is running in 12th position. He's got the 911. No, he's got the 188 car behind him on the road, which is not what I was necessarily expecting based on the timing screen. So that's the Paul Simpson and Colin Tester Porsche 986 Boxster.
We're trying to work out which the Jason Clegg car is, number 30, because it's not that on my list. This is a change of driver. It's in our programmes as Clayton and Edward Sampson in number 30, but.
Okay, right. There's this is where there are two
versions, which is handy.
Yeah, Jason Clegg is 30, but he's one of the Bernie's V8s drivers. So I think it's 130 for Clayton and Edward Sampson, probably, that we've ended up with, or possibly 301. No, we've actually got 2 30s on the timing screen. Whether they're actually both running 30 on their cars is another matter. Got one car heading into the pit lane there, unfortunately. We're watching 47.45. This is the lead for the Porsche part of the race, though. James Coleman and Adam Southgate. James Coleman in Class 1, Adam Southgate in the Porsche Racing Driver Association class. So that's for the old Porsche Boxster Championship. These two absolutely together, lapping a couple of the 924s there as well, which aren't quite on the same pace as the Boxsters. But a good little scrap going on between those two Porsches down towards Village.
They're battling in the same group as the 571, which is the Aaron Moyes and Matthew Ellis TVR Tuscan.
And we've had the change for second look. It looks like Phil James in the 39 car has got ahead of Ricky Can. So he started in 8th place at Phil James, and that car is sharing with Cheng Lim. He's got ahead of Ricky Can now, who started in 2nd position. Well, James Plant's lead extended to more than 9 seconds. So there's the 39 car, 2nd place. 4th is James, and then we've got the what appears to be the Jason Clegg TVR in 3rd place, which was a change to our programme entry list, but he is running with car number 30, and he is right with them now.
Yes, he's 3rd in that group, isn't he, Jason Clegg?
Then you've got the two Porsches together, and it's still James Coleman ahead of Adam Southgate. 45 there in 6th position overall, 2nd of the Porsches. And they are ahead now of the Moyes and Ellis TVR, that's about 5 seconds adrift off them in 7th place. Matthew Smith 8th, and the Pete Holford number 82 car is 9th. here are the two Porsches heading on to the hangar straight.
It's a Cayman and a Boxster, isn't it? Very evenly matched.
That's right, heading down the straight. Meanwhile, there's the change for third place. That's Jason Clegg, number 30, getting his TVR ahead of Ricky Can's Aston Martin now. And he's lapping, well, he's done a 15, so he's been lapping a bit quicker than Ricky Can. There is pit stops to be made between 15 and 30 minutes into this race, so pit lane window will be open in a couple of minutes. And look there, now you've got the Boxsters, or the Cayman and the Boxster, about to pass Ricky Can as well, or trying to.
Cleverly boxed there by the Boxster. Looks like he'd boxed the Cayman in behind the Aston, but the Aston's still got much more grunt in a straight line. What it doesn't have is the agility in the corners. They come up to that Galaxy again, and up the inside go the two Porsches as one into Village. There's no real room for Ricky Can to respond. They now work their way past the lumbering Galaxy.
Yeah,
I think the handling of the Aston has sort of gone away a bit, hasn't it?
It does appear that way, doesn't it? So we've now got James Coleman and Adam Southgate, although Can gets back ahead of Southgate down the straight. Might get back ahead of Coleman as well. Not quite going to do it, I don't think, before he gets to Stowe Corner. So that's split up the battle for the Carmel Porsche Trophy for the moment. Ricky Can slotting into 5th position overall. He's going to try and get 4th place back, but I don't think he's going to make it. No, he's not. Down into the Vale.
He hasn't got the brakes, and
yes, very, very deep into that corner when he realised how little in the way of brakes he had, I think.
Well, in comparison to the much lighter Porsches, I mean, there was absolutely no way that was going to happen there. But it was still a great tussle, and the Porsches reunited. 47 James Coleman ahead of the Southgate car.
Almost side by side. Southgate up the inside into Village to get the lead of the Porsche race away. He does so. So Adam Southgate looking for his first win in this competition of the season, having had 3 second place finishes. He's now clear as this fight for second position. Plant 12 seconds up the road, but we've got Phil James and Jason Clegg now together because Clegg took 2 seconds out of James on the previous lap.
Tuscan coming back at Phil James. That's Jason Clegg in the Tuscan, number 30.
Over the line goes that battle. The gap between them is just 0.2 of a second now as they cross the line that time. Jason Clegg in the number 30 TVR. Just look and see where we started on the grid. There's a little bit, yeah, it was 16th on the grid, so it's been a good drive from him in his Tuscan. It looks like he's going to get the place there. No, not quite. He's still there for second, and he does it at the link. He's got his nose in front now as they come onto the hangar straight. So it's now going to be a battle of who has the most potent engine between those two. They've got a range of cars to lap. Porsches mostly. There's Datsun in there as well, though. But the 39 car of James has held on.
Yes, much more GGs, many more GGs under the bonnet.
Yeah, that's certainly told, but Clegg, you can bet, will have another go. We're into the pit stop phase of this race now, and a couple of cars are heading in. I can see the 142 Porsche of Adrian Drain, and also the Datsun has gone in as well.
That yes, in comes leader Plant.
Yeah, Jeff Hansen in the 240Z GT2 as it's described.
7 litres under the bonnet of that Cobra. Cobra looking like the fake snake.
As Coleman
explains why it can out-drag the Tuscan Challenge car.
Certainly does. is the Tuscan Challenge car having another go. We saw James Coleman into the pit lane as well.
Oh, he's boxed Phil James in there.
That Capri's not going anywhere very quickly, is it? Looks like that one's out of the race.
Yeah, the Jägermeister liveried car.
Alan Breck's number 26 car out of the race.
Up ahead of him was the TVR Mongoose, wasn't it? The ex-Tommy Entwistle car.
There's the change we've had. Number 30 is through to second place now, Jason Clegg. That happened the link down the Hangar Straight. So that's the change for second place. Both of those cars staying out there. Now in this race they all have to make a mandatory 1 minute pit stop, whether or not they're going to change drivers. About half of the competitors perhaps have two drivers lined up. And there is the 39 car now down to third position. Well, with the lead, James Plant having made his stop earlier, then up into second position. So Clegg now leading. Phil James second, Adam Southgate third, Matthew Smith is up to fourth, Ricky Can, number 20, is into the pit lane as well to make his stop in the Aston Martin. So pit lane getting a bit busier once again.
Pete Halford's brought the Mustang in as well. White Mustang up there, and BTCC racer Josh Cook will climb into it.
Yeah, Josh, who cut his racing teeth with the 750 Motor Club with Sax Max, which was the junior racing series based around the Citroen Saxo. Did that for a season or two, and then he switched to the Stock Hatch Championship, which he won in 2010. And since then, in the last few seasons, he's been away racing in the British Touring Car Championship with some success. A few wins he's had.
Big influx of cars into the pits now. 154. That is stopping. That's someone near the penalty box, isn't it?
Yeah, it looked like it. Robert Frost in the Dax Tejero. We'd also got the Adam Wilkinson Lotus 11 replica in as well, number 11, fittingly adorning that car.
Some of those Dax chassis designed by Adrian Reynard. Interestingly, of course, John Tejero designed the chassis which became the ACA Slims modified into the Cobra.
That's the 45 car of Adam Southgate in then from the lead of the Porsche part of the race. How efficient will his pit stop be? Will he get out ahead of the 47 car of his rival James Coleman? That's the big question there. Pit stop in these is costing you about a lap, I would think, just a little bit over by the time you've got going. That's the 911 car.
Just past the halfway mark here.
Yeah, 911 being driven by Stephen Archer at the moment. I think Felix Archer driving it in the second part of the race. So as many cars in the pit lane as there are on circuit at the moment, I would think, pretty much. They have another 9 minutes or so in which to make their stops and driver changes if they would, if they want to. And the race goes the 154 car. There's the 47 of James Coleman then. So be interesting to see if we can see where he feeds into things in comparison to Adam Southgate once he gets back out into the race. That's Ricky Can's car. That's been into the pits, hasn't it? Datsun's back in again for a second time, I think. And has there been
NASCAR has not come to grief, it's sort of come to a halt, pretty much. That's the 22.
Marcus Bicknell, Steve Averill car, that one.
Clublands racers of yore.
Not sure which one was aboard.
There's the Martin Reynolds Construction Sebring going out, MRC.
I think Jason Clegg is still out there. And Phil James car, we could see just going through shot as well behind the 22 Ascar. Ford Ascar V8 Mustang. That's turning its way through Club Corner now, behind the 194 Porsche Boxster, which is Brett Carpenter, the driver from Beckenham.
Of course, the NASCAR series in the States, apart from having the big sort of high-profile Daytonas and things like that, did do quite a lot of racing on road circuits, places like Watkins Glen. back in the day.
Right, now there is James Plant, and he's showing 9th, but he was with the Phil James car, so effectively a lap behind that car, which is yet to make it stop. And there we can see the 45 car of Adam Southgate as well. So he has come out. Where has he come out in relation to the 47 car of James Conwell? I'm not quite sure that's all sort of fed through on our timing screens yet, so we'll give that another moment or two before we have a look at how that's impacted the order. But the leader out there at the moment, I think, is Phil James in the number 39 car, but he's just had James Plant unlap himself effectively.
Yeah, he's 27 seconds clear of Andrew Knight, who's yet to stop in the number 9 AS car.
And Jason Clegg, of course, has now gone in his TVR to make the stop, as has now Phil James, to hand over to Cheng Lim for the second part of the race in the number 39 Cobra.
Yes, there's Phil James in then at 16 laps. There's, yeah. 17 laps.
Yeah, 60 and 3/4 minutes have or remain still, I should say. And we've got Andrew Knight then will assume the lead of the race. And I think Michael Blake, another driver, yet to make his stop. But once they do, I think we'll find out that James Plant does indeed come back out in the lead again once all of the stops shake out. Oh, that's the TVR off.
And that's out, isn't it? Pulling off for good. 571.
Yeah, that was the pole position car as well. So Matthew Ellis now aboard.
Oh, he's got it going again.
Yeah, that is Cheng Lim, who's going to take over from Phil James in the Ram SC. And there is the Mustang heading through shot.
Yeah, Cheng, who won a race with Phil James at Spa. And I apologised to him after not being able to play the Singaporean national anthem, putting the flag up. And he said, "Oh, shouldn't worry." He said, "I left there when I was a baby." He said, "I don't know I'd recognise either."
15 minutes or so to go. There's Plant then. Effectively, he will assume the lead of the race once the timing screen catches up with the Cheng Lim pit stop. I'm now a bit more confident that he's Adam Southgate comfortably in the lead of the Porsche part of the race, actually, because it looked like the 47 car must have lost a lot of time in the pits, James Coleman. Although I do wonder if that's a transponder issue, because he was having a transponder issue early on in the race. But he's showing in 23rd at the moment. But I do wonder if that's not an accurate summation of where he is on the road.
Plant's effectively a lap down, isn't he? And then, as is Clegg, as are all of those guys catching up.
Yeah, once the screen takes account of the pit stop that Cheng Lim has just made, and he's about to go back out onto the circuit, and we'll see James Plant back out in the lead, I think. So, impressive grid of cars here. Porsche-wise, it's still Southgate ahead. Second of the Porsches now looks to be Stephen Archer, and third of the Porsches is the 25 car, which is now being driven by Matthew Kyle-Henny. Trevor Lewis having been at the wheel for the first part of the race. But there is the leader. Yes, he's flashed upon the timing screen now ahead. So James Plant back into the lead of the race in car number 23. And Jason Clegg is second, but only about 4 seconds behind him. So, and then about 5 seconds behind, no, about 1.6 seconds behind that is Adam Southgate in the Porsche. So actually it's all pretty close up front. There's Plant in the Healy clone leading the way. And there's Jason Clegg in second place in the TVR Tuscan.
It's those Tuscans that started off with the Rover V8 engines in, and then went to the AJ P8, TVR's own engine. Flat plane crankshafts in them.
I don't think we've seen Jason Clegg out in the Bernie's V8 so far this season, just casting my eye down the results of previous races. But James Plant we did see out. He's had a win, a second and a fourth so far this season. That win coming at in the last race at Brands Hatch, when these cars were part of the American Speed Fest, which is a big popular spectator event down there in Kent. There's the 48 Cuda of Matt Snowball, providing a great spectacle, but it lumbers around a little bit. Up to Stowe, we've got the Porsche going through. Twelve and a half minutes left then, and it is a 35 car that we are watching at the moment, which is the Daniel Crago and Alvaro Crago 968 Club Sport, and that is running in 24th position. In fact, I think it's just Daniel Crago driving it today.
And that'll be Josh Cook in the Mustang, won't it, in Peter Holford's car?
Yes, it will. I'm just looking to see where that is.
Sixth place.
It's good going.
Yeah. Last lap for 19.
It's been down to the 16s though, hasn't it? Well, that was, I'm sure that was Josh doing that lap. 16.48. Difficult to get a clear lap in though on such a busy circuit. Lots of traffic out there. One of the 924s going a bit wide. That's the 69 car, which is Richard Jones. A little bit of Porsche action going on here. Involved in the mix is number 28 Andy Baker in his Boxster.
Yeah, a lot of them all together.
They are having a very entertaining scrap amongst themselves. Into Stowe with 11 minutes of the race left to go. 73 it is at the head of that grid. That's Mark Norton's 986 Boxster S. It runs within the SP2 class. That's the second of the 4 power to weight classes. Plus there's the PDA Boxster class as well. And 142 is Alan Drain. Oh,
that's Knight, isn't it?
I think it is.
Number
yes,
9.
Number 9 car of Knight's gone around on the exit of Club. I don't know if he made it as far as the pit wall.
A bit of scuffage down the side.
There's some scuffing possibly. Looks like he's going to get the car back out into the race though, which is good news.
Whoa.
Southgate, that is, has to take some slightly avoiding action in the Porsche.
I think he might have got away with that.
Yep, I think he did. I've seen cars spin into the pit wall there before. Out front, James Plant leading by 1.6 seconds now from Jason Clegg. There is Plant, there is Clegg. Going through shot, and there's a squeal of tyres from someone, and that's the 142 car of Alan Drain. And just avoided collecting, I think, Adam Southgate in third place overall and our Porsche class leader. So there's Plant, and where's the TVR? There's the TVR. I wonder if he's got caught up behind a yellow flag or something, because all of a sudden he's lost quite a bit of time. 1.6 seconds was the gap at the start of the lap, but it's more than that now, I would suggest. There is 28, which is Andy Baker once again.
22 laps down for James Plant, local driver, local team based up at Long Buckby. 4.6 seconds, 4.6 between him and the number 30 TVR now, and a similar gap back to Adam Southgate in third place in the 45.
Yeah, in Southgate at that time, I mean, he was slow, but not as slow as Jason Clegg. I think everyone's lost time with a lot of traffic and incidents going on.
There were quite a few things out on the circuit to miss at that point, weren't there?
Yeah, indeed. That's 41, which is Graham Holborn, is it not? Graham Walden, I should say. In his TVR Tuscan, slated to share that with Dominic Mooney, so it might well be Dominic in the car by now. He's just in behind the 27 Reynolds car.
Martin Reynolds in the number 27, all his cars are 27. The Martin Reynolds Construction Sebring, a Healey clone with a V8 engine. He's Still finishing off his amazing Ford Console Classic, Pro Console 27. It's like a sort of transformer from a kid's game.
James Plant's going to cross the line in a more competitive lap time again, but Jason Clegg's taken about 3/4 of a second out of him, a 1:16.03, gets the gap back down to less than 4 seconds. Adam Southgate, Porsche leader, on a 1:18.21. There's that TVR Grand Tourer, the 122 car.
Ricky Can's doing a good job, and that's Aston Martin to keep it in 4th place, number 20, given that we know earlier on that its brakes were wilting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Martin Reynolds bounding back up the order.
Down towards the Vale goes that particular scrap. And Reynolds running in 7th place, Walden and Mooney in 8th position, so that's a scrap for position within the Burners V8s part of the race. Six and a half minutes left to go then, and still that scrap going on for 7th between number 27 Martin Reynolds and number 41 Dominic Mooney, trying to get around the outside in the TVR. He's done it. Changed them for 7th place, in that Martin Reynolds has gone through. Up ahead, oh, and a spin there for 194. That's Brett Carpenter's Porsche Boxster. Outside of the top 20. I was just about to say though that Josh Cook had just done a personal best lap of the race of 1:16.08, which is only about 8/10 of a second off the best lap of the race altogether, which is set by James Plant, I think, a 1:15.24. There's the 571 TVR now, so that's the car that was in trouble early on. I think it has finally expired now.
Black flag for somebody, but we can't see what the number is on the board at the moment.
Looks like a 3-digit number, but there's quite a few 3-digit cars in this race, with a few getting an extra 1 to avoid any clashes of number where possible. There is the 130 car. That's the 154 car. That's Robert Frost in the Dax Dejero, isn't it?
Yeah.
So drama for him. The Southgate car, I didn't see how that happened, but the front bumper section on that car
is very, very low to the road. The whole valance, I think, is tipped forward.
Yeah, it has,
scraping.
isn't it?
The splitter is sitting in the floor.
It's like there's been a little bit of light contact, perhaps with the rear of another car under braking or possibly on acceleration. It's just been enough to dislodge that, but not quite enough to take it off completely. Now, whether that's something that will get the attention of the officials in terms of a potential black and orange flag.
Very close to the end, aren't we? It won't pass any single-seater ride height test, that's for sure.
No, it wouldn't do. Not the way it is at the moment. This is the scrap involving the 130 car, which is Clayton Sampson, Edward Sampson, I think, now aboard that one.
Here comes Cheng up the inside. Cheng Lim in the 39, trying to get a place back.
Well, that's, I think, if the screen's to be believed, to unlap himself, because he's running in 9th place, and that's Clegg that's let down. So I think Cheng Lim has lost quite a bit of time in this second part of the race, and possibly in the pit stops as well.
Yeah, last time ran 121.
But yes, that car was going well in with Phil James in the first part of the race, wasn't it? It was up there in contention for the lead.
Here comes leader James Plant. It's like a dragster in a straight line, isn't it?
It certainly is. It's absolutely phenomenal as it breezes past some of those other cars.
It's going to lap Martin Reynolds fairly soon, and Martin's running 7th in the 27. And you'll see the two pseudo Healey's together. Neither of them actually look very much like Healey's apart from the grills.
That's just about it, isn't it? Over the line they go. James Plant completes lap 26. He's going to get probably 3 more laps out of this, I would think, because there were 2 minutes and 40 seconds to go and he crossed the line, and a lap is taking about 1 minute 15. So yeah, he'll complete 3 more laps before the checkered flag comes out. 2 more before the time elapses. So it's number 23, James Plant, that leads, from number 30, Jason Clegg in second. Number 45, Adam Southgate, is in third position. Number 20, Ricky Can, is fourth. Number 80, Matthew Smith, is fifth. 82, Josh Cook, is sixth. Seventh is number 27, Martin Reynolds. Eighth is number 41, Dominic Mooney. Ninth is number 39, Cheng Lim. And 10th is number 911, which is Felix Archer, in the second part of the race. And he's second of the Porsches, behind Adam Southgate. Southgate, the only Porsche amongst the first 9 cars overall. It was a bit more of an even spread between the 2 sets of cars in qualifying, but the V8s have come to the fore in the race.
Yes, they're prevailing because the conditions, I guess, are conducive to that.
Yeah, I think you're right. The slight mystery is what happened to James Coleman in the pit stops, because he appears to have lost a lot of time to Adam Southgate, who's now out and uncontested in the lead of the Porsche part of the race. There's the 91 Jeff Hansen 240Z.
Yeah, pretty car that, and we don't often see the more highly developed versions these days. Reminds us of the days of Big Sam doing its sort of mod sport stuff over here. Plant in a straight line. Whoa, he's having to fight it. Cool, that was a bit wide into the marbles, wasn't it?
Wider than he intended, certainly.
I think he was just trying to go for a speed record down the straight. Very nearly didn't stop for Stowe.
Well, he had got 3.5 seconds in hand over Jason Clegg. Let's see what the gap is. He's about to come on to start his last lap, I think.
Yeah, he may not know that, but he's certainly pushing on, that's for sure.
There's Clegg in the number 30 TVR in second place. Last lap board has gone out, and the gap was 3.57. It's now 3.52, so it's only coming down by a few hundredths of a second. Confirmation that we are now running the last lap of the race. There's Clegg in second position, having put a lap on the 27 Reynolds Healey clone. So Clegg, I don't think, is quite going to do this. He's going to need an even bigger error from James Plant down into Stowe this time if he's going to win the race, I think.
Josh Cook has got very, very close to the car's personal best time. They did a 16.24 last time round, 16.10 for Ricky Can. So that's Aston's really going strongly, isn't it?
Yep, it's doing very well indeed. Best lap time of 14.66, which actually I think looks to be the best lap of the race for Ricky Can.
I just think it probably is.
Yep, so it's going to be a 4th place for Ricky, but here comes James Plant into club corner for the final time. The checkered flag is going to be made ready for him. Out of club he goes. Last lap board is replaced by the checkered flag, and James Plant makes it 2 wins in a row in the Bernese V8s, having won last time out on the Indy circuit at Brands Hatch. Second place goes the way of number 30 Jason Clegg, about 4 seconds behind James Plant in the end. And then there'll be a little bit of a gap back to the first of the Calm All Porsche Trophy cars. There is Adam Southgate, goes across the line to complete victory in that class. 18.25 seconds behind James Plant, but well clear of the second place Porsche car, which I think may well already have finished a lap down, which is the 911 car of Felix Archer, as it now is in the second part of the race.
That's 80, isn't it? Matthew Smith just coming home in the kind of Benetton Formula 1 liveried TVR with its one-off hardtop. Josh Cook makes it home in 6th place, converting Peter Holford's start. Good consistent run for him, and quick too last few laps in the 16s.
Yeah, I think pretty much all of the cars are over the line now. Everyone seems pretty pleased to have brought it home, and a good race that, and it did stay dry throughout the race, so that's great as well, because it meant that we were able to see these cars showcased to their best. Let's have a look at the results of that race then, and get confirmation that it was a win for number 23 James Plant by 4.05 seconds from number 30 Jason Clegg. In 3rd place, number 45 Adam Southgate. He won the Carmel Porsche Trophy part of the race. In 4th place, number 20 Ricky Can in the Aston Martin, which did the fastest lap of the race. 5th, number 80 Matthew Smith in his TVR Camaro. 6th, number 82 brought home by Josh Cook, that was the Ford Mustang. 7th, number 41 Dominic Mooney bringing home the TVR. 8th, number 27 the Martin Reynolds Sebring V8 clone. Then 9th, number 39 Cheng Lim bringing home the Ram, and 2nd in the Porsche part of the race, and 10th overall the Felix Archer Porsche. Then next up in the Porsches was the Matthew Kyle Henny car. That was one of the Boxers as well, 25 in 11th place. Then Bittel and Everson, Tom McHugh winning his class in the Porsche 944, 13th overall in car 56. And as we scroll through, James Coleman eventually finishing 20th in car 47, having won the last round at Snetterton. And as we go through there, we see that the Matt Snowball Plymouth Cruiser finished in 23rd position. Carl Rossin and Sam Callahan, the X Factor contestant, he finished in 28th position. And I think we've probably got one more screen of cars to bring you. Chris Valentine, he shared with another reality TV contestant, Anthony Sahota, in car 88. Brett Carpenter, 194, was 32nd. And then we get into the cars that didn't make it to the end, including the TVR. Well, we're not going to, I don't think, be bringing you interviews after this race, but we'll get confirmation from that in just a second. So we're not indeed going to get an interview after this race, although maybe we are. News just coming down from the pit lane. So let's head down to Josh Barrett. Josh, who have you got?
Yeah, I've got the winner, James Plant. Well done, James. Very busy track out there.
Yeah, very busy. Yeah, just coming through the back markers was, trying to give him as much space as possible. But yeah, just trying to think ahead and keep the space there. So
your lead gap wasn't that big. I don't know if you were able to monitor it at all.
No, it wasn't. The TVR was, I saw he was catching me. The harder I was pushing, the tyres were sort of getting a bit too hot and running off, and it was a bit hard at the last few laps. Yeah.
Tell us a bit about your car.
Well, it's an Austin Healey 3000 with a bit of a twist. It's got a Chevy small block in there. A lot of the work was done in the workshop, so a lot of hearts in there. So yeah.
What's it like to drive?
A bit of an animal, yeah. Yeah, a bit of an animal, yeah.
This track suit it? Obviously, you were Brands Hatch last time, which is a very different track.
Yeah, completely different track. Brands Hatch, there's a lot of off cambers and everything. You're having to try and get the power down, but here a little bit flatter, and it's suits it.
Well done.
Yeah,
well done on you. In second place was Jason Clegg. Jason, second place for you in the TVR, and not that far behind the winner.
No, happy with that. Had a shocking qualifying, P16. Only the second time I've been in the car, so to come second, yeah, it's not first, but we're having a go at least.
The much bigger engine in the car in front of you.
Yeah, what's in that? A 6 litre or something?
Something big.
Oh yeah, so that's 4.5. But I mean, these were quite quick in the day.
Is it in Tuscan Challenge spec? Or?
Yeah, totally standard. It's just come out of a museum. Spent 15 years in a museum in the Isle of Man.
So who raced that originally?
A guy called Jeff Evans.
Yeah.
We bought it last year, decided this year not to do the Peter Auto, which is all the European events, because of what was going on. So we recommissioned this, got it out, and it's absolutely great fun.
great to hear. Well done on your second place. And Adam Southgate, he was the winner of the Porsches, and you had a battle with James at the start of the race, I saw.
Yeah, definitely. James just came, has got a little bit more power than me, but I think we've got a slightly better setup this weekend. So, good battle at the start. I managed to get him just for the pit stops. I think he had a bit slower pit stop than me, so I was just able to extend after the pit stop into the lead, which was great.
It's Neston, you were sort of not quite able to keep up with the Caymans, but this track obviously and your setup suited it.
Yeah, it's the high speed stuff especially. The benefit we've got over the Caymans, we run front and rear downforce, whereas the Caymans can't. So, yeah, especially around Stowe, first corner around here, we're gaining quite a lot of time. So, yeah, it was a really fun race, really enjoyed it.
You like this new format that's going on this year?
Yeah, it's good fun to do 40 minutes. I've previously done 20-minute races, more sprint types, whereas you've got to look after your car a bit more in these 40 minutes. Not that you'd know from the front of mine. I think I did the last 20 minutes with half a front bumper, but still, we pulled it over the line in first, so happy days.
Well done. So that's our top three from that race. Sprint racing coming up next, and already our first race is heading onto the grid.